Hello everyone and welcome to Best of the Month for September 2021. A load of creators here today to tell you what we've enjoyed most playing from the last month. Now, importantly, these don't have to be brand new games. It's maybe new to us or just a game we've got back to the table. And for me, that was the case. So, Catch the Moon is a brilliant dexterity game. Now, this has been in my collection for the last 2-3 years and, well, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Recently, I've been able to get this back to the table because we've been going back to work. In the office, there's a group of people I play at lunch with, and wow, this always hits the table. It's always super fun. Basically, on a turn, you're rolling this dice, and that will tell you whether you're adding a ladder to touch one other ladder on the structure, 2 ladders on the structure, or has to be the highest when you're adding a ladder. It's very simple. You make anything else fall off the structure by rolling the dice into it, or when you're placing a ladder down and you take a tier. Now, the way it gets interesting is that at the end of the game, whoever takes the last tier is eliminated. Which means right up until the end, you could be in the lead and be knocked out because you take the last one. Now, people sort of, when they start out, it's a very sort of timid game of placing and really being careful about your placement. We've played this so much now that, well, you try and screw each other over. You start to really sort of balance something on the edge, hoping that it will fall off on someone else's turn. We've even managed to go through all the ladders and had to come up with like a bonus rule of you have to take one off from somewhere and then add it on as well. It's just, it hits the table so many times because it's just easy, simple fun, and that is Catch the Moon. Anyway, enough of me. Let's jump to the next creator.
Hi, it's Barb MeeplePhD, and my favorite game for September 2021 is Imperial Settlers Empires of the North. This is a card-driven civilization building game where players take on the role of clan leaders trying to build up the best empire in the world. Each player gets a different deck at the beginning of the game, representing the different clans, and they need to build up the best engine they can given the cards that they have. And each deck is a different puzzle. Some clans are better at going out and exploring. Others are best staying at home, cultivating their lands and building lucrative locations. There's even one clan whose strength is in banking, and I've got to say that was a hard deck to get my mind around. There are a few ways to have player interaction in this game, or to mess with your other fellow players. One is to steal away islands that they might have wanted on the exploration board, but you can also raise one of their locations, making it unavailable for a round. However, in my play group, I've found that we are usually all so concentrated on our own empires and trying to figure out the right combinations of cards to play and when, that we don't have the time or even the resources to mess with other players too much. And the thing that I love about this game is the way that every deck is different. Should I be going out and conquering lands every round? Maybe I should be staying home and populating so that I can make sure to activate every single one of my locations to get points that round. Every deck presents its own puzzle. And that also means that I've had to get every single expansion because I love seeing how the mechanics change just a little bit from deck to deck. And from expansion to expansion, they add a few new rules that really make this game fresh every time you play it. This past month, I've gotten to play the solo game quite a bit. The base game comes with 4 solo scenarios, each of which adds a different goal, an action, and then some restrictions on your gameplay. And it feels like that picking just the right deck for just the right scenario is the key to winning that scenario. And I had a blast trying to figure out those combinations throughout this month. So if this sounds at all interesting to you, you might want to check out Empires of the North, and maybe it'll become your favorite game one month. I'll see you again next month. In the meantime, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube as @MeeplePhD, and you can follow my blog at meeplephd.com.
Hello, I'm Luzapalooza of Some Loosemore, and this month has been, again, super easy to pick. There's only one that it really could be. I was very fortunate the other day to be able to teach some friends Vindication. I absolutely love this game, one of my favourites ever. It's just a perfect mix for me of solid, beautiful mechanisms, but with a theme that you can invest in as much as you choose. I enjoy a thematic game. My brain tends to be a bit more Euro, a bit more mechanically minded, but this is one where, yes, it's resource management, yes, it's hand management, yes, it's point-to-point movement on a grid, it's interacting with all these different things, but the story that you can create if you so choose it just elevates this above other games of this hybrid type. The art is exceptional, the production is amazing, as Orange Nebula, I say, always does. They've got this and then Unsettled behind me, so I can't see a super long track record, but both games are incredibly well produced, and that just enables me as a player and as a teacher and other people at the table to just invest in what's going on, because the mechanisms are so smooth. It's all virtual resources, you just have your own cubes, but thematically everything makes sense. The different characteristics and traits that you're investing in or getting better at learning, whatever it might be, to then exert your influence over this, that, or the other. It just all works really well together. There's loads of different modes of play, but even just the solid base game is so much fun. I have the expansion as well, which allows me to do solo, which I've done a few times, and again changes the game up a little bit more and just invites me to be able to play in just any kind of way that I want, really. There's so much to explore. There's a map that you're uncovering tiles as you go for different things to interact with. Yes, it's largely the same tiles each time, depending on which modules you're using, but where they show up, how the movement between them affects your strategy with the end goal cards. Is that right? End of game goal, whatever, secret missions, there we go. Just leads you in a different path, and you can just try something different every single time. Vindication, do check it out. More expansions coming soon. Kickstarter just happened, so there'll be more content and more to love. Vindication, my game of September. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I'm with Jordan Plays Blue, and Oliver invited me back for some reason, so I figured I'd talk about another game. And this, I played this month, or last month, I played so many good games. I have like 4 out in front of me that I was considering for best of the month, and I'm going to pick one. I'm not even going to talk about the other 3, but definitely check out my Instagram at Jordan Plays Blue, where I will talk about all of these games, and I will make sure you know which ones these are, because they are. I played so many good games in September, but my best of the month is Juicy Fruits. This is from Capstone Games and their new family line. This is a set collection game in which you're kind of doing some order fulfillment, contract fulfillment type of stuff. And so in this game, the way that you're collecting the resources feels really unique. So you're going to have this grid board, and you're going to have these fruit tiles on it, and it's going to be kind of a slide puzzle where you slide the different fruit around, and depending on how far you go, that's how many of that fruit you collect. So if you slide, say, the lime 3 spaces, you collect 3 limes. If you slide the orange 2 spaces, you take 2 oranges, and you're going to be collecting these fruits and turning them into complete contracts around the edges of your island. And once you do that, you're making your island a little bigger. You're removing tiles off of the board so that you can slide a little further. You can turn in those fruit to buy new tiles that you're going to be sliding around, maybe get an ice cream cart that's going to give you some additional stuff, or just take a big old tile to clog up your board, but it gives you a lot of points at the end of the game. Really clever, really cool way that it all works. I really enjoy Juicy Fruits, and this one will be sticking around for a long time, I think. I love it. I'm Jordan with Jordan Plays Blue, and you should check out Juicy Fruits because it's great.
Hey everybody, my name is Melanie and I am the Boardgame Maman. So let me tell you about my top play game for the month of September. So in number 1 position is Arkham Horror 3rd Edition. I just purchased this game and this was my first play and it was amazing. So this is a game that is cooperative, very story driven, and you have different scenarios to play. Each scenario has a card, and on the back of that card is a map on how you put the modular board together. All the pieces of the boards are double-sided, so there's a lot of different combination of how this can all come together. This was the first scenario, and then that's how we had it all put together. It has amazing table presence as well. Everybody gets their own character, and in true Cthulhu-themed games, you have both health and sanity for your character. So every time you encounter a monster, you can take damage either physically or mentally. If your sanity ever drops to 0 or your health drops to 0, your character dies. Everybody has a special ability that they can do. You start with special items to start off with. As you go through the game, depending on where in the town you are, you can find allies. You can find new items to add to what you're going to be utilizing. You can heal. It's such a neat game, and the way it all comes together was amazing. So this is a closer look at the board. The town starts with a few doom tokens across town. Your goal is to keep that doom under control and to clear it out as best you can. If there's ever 3 doom tokens in the same space or 5 in the same area of town, an anomaly develops and bigger, badder things will start to happen. There's also green tokens around town that you need to go and find, and those are the clues. When you find the clue, you want to research them, and that gets added then to the story. And what's so interesting with the story, too, is in order to win the game, you don't know what you need to do. You need to go and find some clues so you can develop the story, bring out the next card that'll kind of tell you how everything is developing in order to win the game. It was so neat, very interesting. I cannot wait to play this one again. This is a picture of the board as we were a little bit kind of partway through the start of it anyways, and everybody has their own little standee with a character. So good. Love this game. Now, if you follow me at all, I do every month a top 9 of all the games I've played for each month. If you want to know more about the other 8 games in my top 9 for the month of September, be sure to follow me either on Facebook at Disbury and Area is Playing All the Games. I'm also on Instagram as Boardgame_Maman, and my YouTube channel is Boardgame Maman. Thanks, everybody.
In Enchanted Plumes from designer Brendan Hansen and Calliope Games, you're building peacocks. I'd like to say there's more to the story than this, but there isn't. It's a very simple card game. I'm Adam Porter. I run a YouTube channel called Adam in Wales, which is full of reviews and top 10s, but has a real focus on board game design. I was attracted to Enchanted Plumes because I myself designed a game about peacocks a few years ago. I feel quite attached to them. I want to make sure that other designers are treating peacocks with the respect that they deserve. Turns out I needn't have worried, because Enchanted Plumes is great. Players start with a hand of peacock feathers, and on your turn you can play 1 or 2 of them. And then you either draw 2 new cards, or you swap cards with the central display. I really like this mechanism. It means that your hand size keeps changing throughout the game. When you play a card, you place it into a row, which will gradually build up to become a peacock. You can build loads of small peacocks, or you can focus on a small number of massive ones. The top row of each peacock will score negative points equal to the value of the cards up there. So you want low numbers at the top. Once you move on to a lower row, you're going to be scoring positive points for each card placed. So this is where the higher numbers go. But there's a catch. You can only place a colour in a row if it's already present in the row above. Now, there are lots of opportunities for card counting in this game, and you don't want to be halfway through constructing a lower row only to find out that there are no more cards of the colour that you wanted left in the deck, and you're not going to be able to complete that peacock. This could slow the game down as players look at every single card on the table, but another brilliant design choice has the player place their final card on each peacock face down, which means that there isn't perfect information in the game, so card counting can't be relied upon. But even more importantly, it just looks awesome. Completed peacocks score 1 bonus point per card, and when the peahen card is drawn from near the bottom of the deck, the game ends and the highest scorer wins. If you'd like to see more from me, please head on over to my channel, Adam in Wales, and I'll see you there.
Hey everyone, this is Thecos. I'm glad to be part of this video again and speak about my favorite game of the month. This month I played a lot of great games again and discovered some real gems. Two games I want to give an honorable mention are Unfussy and Cascadia. Two games I got to know recently and have been playing a lot. These are great games, but they are not my favorite game of the month, although it was quite close. That honor goes to Arcosa, which is being funded on Kickstarter as of recording this video, and it should still be live in the first days this video is live. This game is not funded yet, which I can't understand at all, but I'm sure it will hit its goal. Arcosa is a strategic bunker building board game where you lead your colony to salvation from a treacherous alien planet. Players take turns carrying out 2 of 4 possible actions. In the course of the game, you explore the planet, gather resources, gain new colonists, trade, and build out your bunker in order to reach the most reputation points at the end of the game, to win a ticket off the planet. Well, you could also make a few bribes at the end to raise your chances of winning. This game is an incredible experience. There's so much I like about it. Although I played with a prototype, I already like the artwork. It's a great touch that each card has different artwork that is really pretty. You can just see that a lot of love and labor went into designing this game visually. The game's not complex at all. You have the rules down quite fast and then the gameplay is incredibly smooth. It's all very intuitive and it's really fun deciding which actions you want to take and in which order. Also, the game's variety is great since you never know which colonists will be available on the board and in your starter hand. Also, the rooms are random, as are the events. This makes each gameplay completely different, forcing you to alter your strategy greatly, which, of course, massively adds to the replayability. And this is good, because the most important factor is that the game is incredibly fun. It's great having all these decisions at your disposal that all make a profound difference in how you will play the game. I love having to make many decisions in board games, and the decisions in Arcosa all have great effects that greatly affect the rest of the game. After having finished the game, I immediately wanted to play it again, and that probably is the best compliment you can give to a board game. So, that should be all I wanted to say about the game. If the Kickstarter is still live, why don't you check it out? Also, if you're interested in more board gaming content, especially reviews and playthroughs, why don't you drop by my channel and say hi? I publish videos on a weekly basis, there's probably something there you will enjoy. Alright, I'll see you on the channel. Cheers!
Hi everybody, this is Richard from Jenders Gaming, and it is an honor to be on another one of these epic shows. Today I'm going to show you a Kickstarter game. This Kickstarter is live right now. It's fully funded and the game is pretty much one of the best games I have played in a long time. I'm talking about Three Tale. And as you can hear on the name, this is a story of 3. And you have to go back to the past to save your future. In the past phase, you will be able to upgrade your characters using these beautifully made character boards. As you move along in the past, you will get small tokens to put out in the little spots here, filling up the spots and making your characters stronger and stronger. In the past phase, you take turns on putting out these tiles on the table. Once all these tiles have been placed out, you move into the future phase. And this is where things becomes really cool. Because in the future phase, you get the future book. And this is the part where you clean out the entire table of tokens and bring out new tokens that takes you into the future. And in the future, you have a little bit of different rules, you have different settings, and you also have different types of enemies. You have different types of missions that you need to complete. You also have the little future boxes here. These boxes are full of future tokens. So instead of using the normal tokens that you have just used in the past, you change them out and use this instead. This game have beautiful artwork, a really good story. The gameplay is quite awesome. I have tried to play this solo. I have tried to play this with friends. This is the backside of the character boards here. You get a quite good story on all the characters as well. Their different abilities here, what they're good at, what they're bad at. It's quite beautiful. It's really well made. If you like fantasy games with a good story, check this out. And I really like the idea that it's not a campaign. You can just pick it up, play it one time, and then put it down again and have a good time and not feeling like you have to go back another week. You can just do a one-off, and it's quite beautiful. Check it out. The Kickstarter is live right now. That was everything from me, Richard from Jenders Gaming this week. You can find Jenders Gaming on Instagram and, well, on YouTube, of course, by just Googling Jenders Gaming. Please keep on spreading that board gaming love that I see you all have. It's really, really beautiful. I'm so proud to be a part of this community. There's so much love here. Keep on helping each other. I love you guys, and see you next time.
Hey everybody, I'm Andrew.
I'm Anitra. We're the Family Gamers.
And we want to say thanks to Oliver for including us in this, and we are super excited to talk about our favorite game for the month of September.
Yes, September.
That game is The Adventures of Robin Hood by Cosmos. So, Anitra, what's so awesome about this game?
Oh, what isn't awesome about this game?
That's right.
The art is great. It's a cooperative adventure game, and there's a whole storybook. Look at this thing.
Look, it's a real book. It's not like a paper thing like you used to. It's a real
whole book.
And the book's got all the mechanics for the game, pretty much. It's got the story for the game. It's almost like Choose Your Own Adventure like.
Yeah, and the board itself is also a really organic movement. You're not moving on a grid. You're not moving hexes. Instead, you have these cool little characters that represent walking and running, and you just kind of line them up where you want to go, and you avoid obstacles as you do so.
Speaking of the board and it being all organic, one of the things they did with this board that's super cool is that instead of like putting dudes on it to represent enemies, there's actually flaps that you kind of, well, they're not flaps, they're little pieces you pull out of the board and put back into the board to show where some things are and what's happening.
Yeah, it's not even just the enemies either. It's all kinds of things that happen with the plot and places that you can investigate. And of course, you can use the same iconography to indicate investigation, even though it's not always going to be the same stuff that you're investigating.
We're playing this cooperative as a family. The game supports up to 4 players. I get to be Robin Hood.
You do. And I get to be Maid Marian.
Which works out.
But we've all been having a great time with it. And one of the best parts is our kids feel like their decisions matter in this game.
This is a great game to talk about what we want to do, where we want to go, what the next steps are going to be. There's a little bit of mystery and some investigation, detective work to figure out how to best support whatever story it is that we're playing. We are just having an absolute blast with The Adventures of Robin Hood by Cosmos.
So that's it. That's our favorite game for the month of September. You can find us online on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Twitter at Family Gamers AA.
All right, we'll see you there.
So, there's a lot of brilliant games we are talking about today, but I just thought it'd be a good idea just to say, you do not need to buy every game. Certainly, there's been games on today's show that I have enjoyed, but wouldn't say they have a place in my collection. Now, where's a good place for you to try these out? Well, friendly local game stores. Mine, for instance, Counterculture Games, has an area where you can go and play loads of games for a small fee and try them out and really, enjoy gaming that way without having to have a big wall of games and spend lots of money on the new hotness. And I think a lot of these games, yes, are brand new, but there's certainly some old good games here too. So you don't have to buy all of them, just enjoy as much as you can. Anyway, enough from me, on to the next creator.
Hey everybody, I'm Evan.
And I'm Grayson.
And today we're here to talk to you about our favorite games we played in the month of September. And my pick is going to be the one in this big box right here called Yin Yang. Yeah. So it takes place in like ancient China, where there's a lot of fortune tellers and a lot of divination. So like you have this brass tortoise shell, and then you put the coins into this, and then you shake them out, and then you read those coins, and it tells you what you can and cannot do during the round. So the main idea is it's actually sort of an area control game, whereas there's this big board and you're sending your guys out to build temples, and like you get points for controlling the areas. And then when you're doing that, you're also picking up resources, and then you have this player board where you keep your resources. and then there's like when you're playing it, there's all sorts of different like scoring opportunities, and it's all random, right? So like you get more points for doing this or that, or having more of this resource. So I had a really great time with this game.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. Like the area control was really fun, trying to control the different kingdoms, and then trying to maximize your your resources so that like they lined up perfectly on this board to trigger like extra scoring. So that like you can win the game by scoring, and then you're scoring in different ways than everybody else. So it ended up being a really, really fun game, and it was my best of the month.
Well, my best of the month is a game called Tales of the Arabian Nights, a game that's been pretty out of print, but now is in print.
Well, maybe.
But for Tales of the Arabian Nights is a game where it's a storytelling game where you're going around doing stories and like getting like destiny and story points. Basically, both destiny and story points need to add up to 20 to win the game, and then you go back to Baghdad. So, and on my last adventure, one time I got like this card that's basically said if I said Alakazam, I would actually be able to go into any place of power, which is actually a really good ability. So I went into the into the city of Brass or whatever, and I was actually like ensorcelled at the time, and so basically when I went in there's this super duper like beautiful lady in there, it said, and like, because of the fact that I was ensorcelled, like, my mind told me to attack her. Yeah. And so it created some sort of crazy wizard battle. Crazy. Where I defeated the the evil, like, it was like an enchantress. Yeah. And like the whole entire city like bloomed in light, but like at the end, like I turned into a raging fire and I died and I burnt to death.
Yeah, you defeated this evil sorceress, but it took a lot out of you and it killed you. Yeah, so that was
it's really fun. That's one example of a story. There's tons. There's thousands. There's literally like thousands.
Yeah, it's real random, but it's like a whole lot of fun because you never know what you're gonna get, right? Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for having us on this show. We had a really great time doing this, and you can check us out on our own channel if you want. We do like a top three.
Yep, 3 of like every letter.
Yep, every letter, and we're 2/3 or 1/3 of the way through. I don't know, but we're slowly going through that. So all right. See you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Hi, my name is Hugo, and I run the Instagram profile Hugo Loves Board Games. And my best of this month is a spooky hard game, which is categorized as a living card game. I'm of course talking about the Arkham horror card game here. This was my first experience with a living card game, and I've heard a lot of good things about this game. Like, people are talking so well about it, but what I haven't really heard about was the story aspect of this game, and wow, I was blown away, really. And there's actually some really impactful choices you have to make throughout the game that will change the way your deck building experience is going to be, which I just love. It feels like a legacy game that's just in a small box. Really, really great. The theme is as expected of a Fantasy Flight game. It's a well-crafted Lovecraftian universe, and the art on these cards are really drawing you into this grotesque world that you have to really learn to navigate. And the game comes with like so much more story that you can explore throughout the many expansions that you can get to it, which I'm excited to get to try later on. We already have one of them sitting on the shelves here behind me, so that's gonna be just amazing. So yeah, even though I've only played like just one session, I can just highly recommend this game, and there's no time like now to get into it. With Fantasy Flight now just have published their revised core set, where you can play up to 4 players, so you can bring your friends along on the journey with you. I also hear that it's a great solo game if that's more your speed. But yeah, thank you for having me. My name has been Hugo, and you can find more of my reviews and other Instagram content over at my profile, Hugo Loves Board Games, at Instagram. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cat and I play red. My game of the moment is Furnace, designed by Ivan Lashin, available from Arcane Wonders and Hobby World. Players take on the role of 19th century industrialists building corporations to extract, produce and ultimately sell goods. The game is played over 4 rounds. Each round has 2 phases. The auction phase, where players will put chips onto cards that they want to buy, in turn order, obviously. Let's see. 2. Now the nice thing about this is there's actually compensation for losing an auction. So in this case, black would get the card. However, I would get to do this compensation bonus at the top here. So I'd be able to do 1 action of trading an oil barrel for free steel. Here, black would get 4 coal for losing that auction. Players will then take the cards for the companies they won and go into the production phase. During this phase, players can gain resources or extract resources from their cards. So this card would allow me to get a steel bar, and this card would allow me to exchange a steel bar for 2 coins. Players will utilise the cards they have as best as they can to produce as much money as possible. At the end of 4 rounds, the player with the most coins wins. Furnace is a super quick and easy engine building game with a unique take on the auction mechanic. That, combined with its beautiful artwork, makes it a winner in my book.
Hi everyone, my name is Dave Luza, and today I'm talking about the game that was new to me in the month of September 2021. I've played some complicated new games. I've played Llama Land, which is here in the corner. I really enjoyed that one. But a game that I somehow missed and is a little bit older is called Bandito. It is a very small box game, but there's a lot of good stuff in this. It is from an Austrian publisher. I think they're called Helvetic. So go and check them out while I show you how the game works. In the box is a bandit. The bandit is in prison and is trying to tunnel his way out, and you are trying to stop him. Every player, doesn't matter if you play alone or if you play with up to, I don't know, 10 people. Everyone draws 3 cards. You play a card and then you redraw a card. And you're trying to close the tunnels so the bandit will not escape. It is that simple, and it's that much fun trying to put the tunnels in a way that in the end there is no exit left for the bandit to escape. I have played this with small children, I have played this with serious gamers, and everyone was very excited. This is all the rules. This is what you do. Of course, when you're putting tiles on the board, you must make them fit, so you are not allowed to make tunnels that move into walls. But for the rest, it is that easy, and it's a lot of fun. Apparently, there is another version, a newer version called Bandida, which has some gamer elements in them, which of course I am interested in. But I love the simplicity of Bandito. That's it. That is my pick for this month. Bandito. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch me or my wife over on Twitch, then just put that in your browser. Twitch.tv/Luzapalooza. That is a place where we play board games live every day. Can't wait to see you there, or just see you next month. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Luzapalooza, where everybody knows your game.
In 2017, when Gaia Project came out, did you give it a go? Well, I gave it a pass, but I've been playing it recently and really enjoying it. It's a complex game, but like a spider's web, right? The outermost thread a tweak on that, and you will still know about it. In the outermost planets of the Terra Mystica galaxy, if the Gleans upgraded to a research lab there, then I still know that next turn then I have to move up that research track to stay ahead, but the Terrans are their neighbours, so they've charged power and have enough now to get a quantum intelligence cube, which means they can colonize that green Gaia planet that's within my range, and I've been planning to do that the whole game. So next turn I've got this dilemma: am I gonna do research? Are the Gleans even really planning to do that? Or do I need to get that green Gaia planet? Are the Terrans, is it even on their mind? Oh, come on. And of course that's what's gonna happen. But in this game, okay, it's no biggie. There's gonna be other opportunities for me. And other opportunities to play Gaia Project. But no, I'm joking. There's actually lots of flexibility in this game. There are these 14 factions, and you get to choose one for your game. And nobody wants to be given a board and told how to play a game, but like strategy on rails. But that's actually not the case here, because nobody wants to either be given a board and told, oh, you get one more credit than other players each round. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that spider web, you can see it coming. In Gaia Project, you are aware of what the other players are doing. Even though it's complex, you can comprehend, you can grasp what's going on and the situation. Not like games where you have all of these players have all of these cards played in front of them with text that you can't read. You don't know what they're up to, and you don't care what they're up to. In Gaia Project, you are put in direct conflict and competition for everything with everyone, and you can feel it the whole time. And I think that is what I love about this game. I've played games with factions before, and each time every faction has had its own bag of fussy components or rules. Here, the rules are all a paragraph or two. The components in the game for the factions are barely anything. So this rule set of Gaia Project is so tight and elegant, and it makes such a complex game, which is very, as I said, interactive. I absolutely love it, and I recommend it to you. Thank you, Oliver, for having me on, and thank you to all of the Don't Be Bored community. I'll see you next month.
And well, that wraps us up. Some phenomenal games we've talked about today. Some I've already got in my collection, and others are now on my want list. Let us know in the comments section below what's sort of been bumped up your wish list. What do you want more than ever? Or is there a new game you'd not heard of perhaps that you're very much interested in now? Let us know in the comments section below. While you're going down through the description as well, make sure you check out all of the channels, be that YouTubers or Instagrammers and all that. Everyone involved, their information will be in the description box down below. So check them out. So much awesome content for you to enjoy. And until next month, well, have a great month gaming. See you later.